showing up. I love Liza's idea of coming together live. We were always working to get there. Thank you, all of you in Zoom land. I want to show you what you're missing. We have food happening. Fried rice, mac salad, fruit, bacon, mimonas. So Mimonas. So would love to have you guys here. We're trying a change to live at 10 o'clock. It seems like everyone's super happy about that. So thank you, those of you on Zoom and all of you guys who showed up in person. Appreciate you so much. I have some prizes. I get a shot glass for the first person to show up. So thank you for being here on time. And Liza, for your idea of Liza, you get this for the 10 o'clock live idea.
Anyways, we share. How about that?
Yeah, this is awesome. What a great idea. Okay, so we're here to come together and talk about what we need to talk about. Let's go to the next slide, RJ. So many things. Free maps coaching. I tried to text everyone the link to this. It's absolutely incredible. They've given us literally $500,000 in maps coaching. It's about $2,000 per person for 2 months. So if you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. I'm doing it myself. I'm doing the wellness, which is whole like mental health and everything. If you want to focus on your business, they have coaches for that. And I think we should all absolutely take advantage of that. Anyone done it already?
I did.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I actually just got a call, and then when she said, "Oh, it's a life coach," if you, I'll call you back.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, no, and I had my call on Thursday, and I did it because it was offered on Monday's meeting, and I thought, that's great. Why don't I take advantage of this? And I had no idea how much I needed it. It's one thing to talk about it with your friends and colleagues about everything that's going on, life as well as, business in the future. But to have somebody hold that space for you where you don't need to really say, oh, and how are you doing? It's all about you, and they're there to help you. So I didn't realize how much I needed it, but it was an incredible session, and I'm really excited to move forward with her.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah.
Same. I absolutely, it's like free therapy if you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, truly. And to help you in your business. So please sign up for that, guys. Jude also is going to be helping us. Anyone else want to speak to their experience on the coaching calls?
Aloha, everyone. Finally back from 15 days of here, there, and everywhere. I just got a call, and I have a 12:30 call with one of the MAPS coach. So I'm looking forward to that very much so.
Awesome, Joyce. We are continuing to work to support you, which is why we came to this every week, 10 o'clock. Really love the idea, Liza. Thank you. So just reach out to us if you have any questions on resources. Let's go to the next slide, RJ. Okay. Christy is our in charge of the money, and she is, and all of us are just passionate about what the support that we've been given. So wanted to share with all of you, so we have had gift cards incoming from all across the country. Katrina victims, $11,000 in gift cards, and then Venmo 63,000. Just this is from Colette at Mega Camp saying, hey, we have a need. We have agents who lost their homes. Absolutely incredible. We wanted all of you guys to know that 15 KW Cares grants have been granted, and we asked the agents who lost their homes, want to respect their privacy, but also wanted to get them connected to resources. Asked them to set up GoFundMe's, and 143,000 have gone directly to the agents in
Colette's
GoFundMe.
been shamelessly at those meetings.
Yeah.
For money.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Someone on the plane that she sat next to, she got some money from, I don't know, Christy, if you want to, thank you for I don't know if anyone wants to speak to this. It's been kind of overwhelming here in the Market Center. Every day we're getting gift cards and so forth. So if you have a need, please reach out to us.
I'd like to share just a little bit because I know I've been gone and I was at Mega Camp and I was with Colette on a lot of those, and it was just overwhelming. You know, once they saw our tag and they see Maui, that how can we help? What can we do? And you know, the QR codes and were a great directive to help guide. I mean, and it was just everywhere you turn, the outpouring from agents all over the world. We're here to support. And so it was overwhelming. Still is.
Yeah, and your very own Keone got up at like 5:30 last Monday and was featured on a call with people all across the country, able to share our story and working to connect families that lost their homes to regions to adopt. So thank you, Keone, for that. That was really powerful. It's a long time, Maui.
Sasha was up too.
I was up there too. I'm always up. Yeah. Your message was powerful. It's great. Okay, next slide. Excuse me. So Ray, do you want to speak to this? He has done an incredible job of rallying the resources, finding the best place to connect. So I'd love for you, Ray, to speak to what you have in this resource found.
Yeah, thanks guys. Good morning. We have been kind of struggling to stay on top of all of the resources. I think as many of you have. There is a website, mauinuistrong.info. It's not .com, it's .info. So this site is being individually maintained. It's not from us, but it does have a comprehensive list of all of the resources. What I like about this site is instead of us having outdated printed resources, we can just send this link right to people that need it, clients, agents, everybody, and it's constantly being maintained. So go check it out, mauinuistrong.info. It has all of the resources available.
Yeah, it's the best that we've seen. Thank you, Ray, for finding that. Continuing to want to plug everyone into what's available. All right, next slide. Michelle, would you like to speak to the SBA loan? You know, you had been encouraging everyone, not to put you on the spot, but thank you for your leadership.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming into the office today. So through FEMA, anyone within Maui County can apply for an EIDL loan, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. For clarity, this is a loan, not a grant. What they do is you fill out the application, they assess your prior year to 2 years business, and they come up with a formula of what they're willing to loan you, up to $2 million. The interest rate is 4% fixed, and they give you the terms of repayment. So what we talked about last week is still the same message. If you don't have a year's savings and reserves and or credit cards or lines of credits you can draw on, I'm recommending that you consider applying for the loan. The application costs you nothing, and you have a decision point when they say, this is what we're willing to give you at 4% for this term, and this is the repayment. You can at that point elect not to move forward. If you do move forward, take the money, stick it in a high yield savings account. Most banks are offering a high yield savings at above 4%. So Goldman Sachs through the Apple Card, Colette had talked about several months ago in the wealth building class, offers 4.15%. But now there are credit unions and banks locally that are offering that high yield savings that's not a CD. So you're not locked into having that money locked somewhere. Put it in your savings account for 6 to 12 months. If you don't need it, pay it back. If you get down 6 months from now and you're like, I'm good, pay it back. The bottom line is at the end of the day, it will cost you $0 to have the safety net, because what you're going to earn in interest is above what you're going to pay in interest by just a tenth or so, or 0.2, but it doesn't cost you anything to have that peace of mind. So it's something I'm recommending you consider. We're going to hold some workshops on that. I am completing my application so that I know all the steps and can see all the nuances. And then we'll be holding those meetings here in the Market Center for anyone who wants to come in and learn more or sit here and do it with us. Any questions? Oh, okay. Yes.
So this is different from the disaster unemployment.
It is different.
Yeah.
So the SBA has two programs. They have, if your house was damaged or destroyed, they'll let you borrow up to 500,000 to repair or rebuild your home, plus up to 100,000 to replace personal property, including cars, at 2.5%. That's one loan that SBA is doing with FEMA. The second one is this one, which is only economic injury. And so island-wide, we're already seeing that ripple effect. People, restaurants are closing, retail shops are closing, people are being laid off. Kula Lodge closed last Thursday, they laid off 68 people. And it's starting to go, the hotels are empty. We're hoping that will shift as we get that message out. We're not closed for business. All these other areas are open. But I have some other information I'm gonna share with you from the governor's order later in this meeting.
So you have a question.
Holly, did you want to ask a question about that?
Hi, Ally.
Unmute. Unmute, Ally.
I can't hear you. You
Unmute.
unmute.
Feels passionate.
I can't hear you.
She said forget it.
I think she's saying move on.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we wanted to gather stories of how you are helping your community. We know many of you went straight into volunteering, and I think Teresa is gathering these so we can share them with everyone. This might be a time to fill the bucket if you know of someone who's been volunteering or has helped you. Do we have anyone who would like to share a powerful or volunteer opportunity that they've been able to contribute?
I can, now I unmuted.
There we go.
Wait, yay, I did it. To just say about the SBA thing, I've done that process and get a couple hours, like get yourself all situated. It was pretty painful. And make sure you use the Google Chrome. That they suggested use the Google Chrome when you're applying. And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then just, I said this last week, but truly in your heart of hearts, like keep going, everyone, do what you can, you know, that you feel you have to give, but as well, make sure you're still taking care of yourself, because that's, everyone gets flustered on how can I help, but that is helping, you know, just being normal and not being all whacked out because other people are whacked out. And I know that's hard to like comprehend, but like try and like do the things that make you feel good. Like you said, go for a walk or run or work out. Like I've been working out, that feels really good for me. So but do those things so that the people, you know, you can still help as you're available. So thank you, guys are awesome.
Put your oxygen mask on first before you try to help other people. We need to take care of ourselves. That's a great message, Ally. Anyone else? Alrighty, we'll keep moving on. Next slide. FEMA has disaster assistance. I don't know if anybody can speak to the application process. This is your resource for emergency funds and help. Don't hesitate to apply. They will qualify you. And anyone want to speak to this?
I think our agents shouldn't overthink it. If they think they have a need or an impact, they should apply. And all of these agencies, federal, state, local, will ask you a series of questions and qualify you.
Yep.
So if they qualify you, great. Take it with open arms and be happy. And if not, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, Aaron.
And I also heard that it all starts with that. So whether you qualify or not, you have to have apply for FEMA before other things can open up for you.
Yeah.
So take it that way. And also they're mentioning that because there's a lot of fraud going on, if you don't do it, somebody else could use your name and sign up for funding that either you could have got, or even if you didn't need it, they'll take it. So if you already signed up for it, then you know that your spot is secured.
That's John.
Yeah, so I've applied for FEMA. My condo is inside the burn zone, still standing. So I was denied initially. Then they send you a letter saying, try again this way. So I'm doing it this other method. And so what are we, 2 weeks out now? Probably 2 weeks since I applied for FEMA. I had a guy from FEMA come 2 days ago and inspect my condo. So it is still moving forward. So I agree, start it. You know, there's 2,500 structures that burn or more. So it's gonna take a long time to get through everybody, but just do it. What are they valid? Well, so I actually have to have a post office box. Okay. So I'm covered. And if they don't, I couldn't help here. I don't know how to do that. But they'll deposit the initial 700 directly into your bank. Everything after that, I don't know, because I haven't got that far, but I assume if they can do that for your 700, they can do it for everything else too. Well, I know post office is holding mail and you bring their ID. Yeah, and it's crazy low. Oh, yeah. I got that deal on everybody that. There's a line, at least 200 people.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then Mary Ann said several of her clients have been denied FEMA because of multiple families in one address, like Ohana situations or multi-generational. So if your clients or you were denied, just file the appeal. It's not the end of the road. They were just confused about multiple families at one address. So it's flagged for fraud, but just file the appeal.
And they are also saying that you're only eligible one per household. So if you have 20 people living in the house, that's a household, even if it's 3 generations of the same family. They're not dividing it out.
Oh,
I did hear a way around that is when you're applying, put unit A, B, or C.
Ooh.
yeah.
That's a good feedback, people.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else notice raise hands?
Yeah, it was weird.
Come on, we did a jazz hands or something. Oh, keeping us laughing all the time. It's awesome, right? Okay, next slide. Do you have shelter? So RAM is coordinating shelter if you have or want to donate. So we're not handling that. We're directing people to RAM and other resources. So definitely reach out to them. And this is Ray's idea. We would love to have your emergency contact. So in the future, if we ever want to connect with you or talk to your people, please fill out this form. Everyone, we want an emergency contact for you. So take a minute. You can hold your phone on that, press, it'll take you to the form. If you guys could all do that right now, I'm gonna give you a second to go ahead.
I think we have it on the onboarding form. Yeah.
Allie and I will also be sending out an email directly to each of you with a link to that form. So look for that if you don't have time right now. It's not a worry. We're just doing an overhaul because many of the emergency contacts we have are several years old. And so every agent is asked to just give us the updated information, even if you think we already have it.
Wonderful people. I was on a walk yesterday helping my client hopefully start over there. We lost everything in Lahaina. And 2 of the places we were looking at, they completely wanted to help someone from Lahaina. One has experienced the California fires, and they were offering owner financing. Just because they know that to qualify right now could be impossible, but they will take what you do have, owner finance, until you can get a loan. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to tell that story because they offer that. People want to help. I mean, especially people on a walk that feel like they can't enough.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna cover this, Sasha, or not, but do you have any feedback on how that Lima Charlie thing is going?
I don't have any updates on that. Yeah.
So I think it's a great program. It sounded like they were kind of having trouble locating homes.
Right.
And maybe where their resources were coming from. I just didn't know, because I've been talking a lot about it and I'm just hoping that it's working.
Yeah, are a client, they provide housing and they're working with contract with FEMA, so we are just collecting addresses of people who might.
And they're working with RAM, because RAM has a whole bunch of addresses.
We're steering people to RAM, but they have an independent contract with
Oh.
FEMA, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be great to reach out directly. Okay, moving on. Next slide. Okay, Colette had a great idea and we are here anyway, but we're gonna offer a power hour as leadership from 10 to 11. You can show up at the office. We will be here for you. One of the leadership at all times, Monday through Friday. So if you just want to connect, have questions about your business, come to the office. Yep,
Every day.
every day. We will all, every weekday.
Thank you.
We've got you covered. And so, open door policy, you know, when you were in, maybe if you were in college, they have office hours. We're here. We just want to make sure you guys have a time to come in. If you have something you want to ask about or questions, we're here to support you. So power hour, 10 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Alrighty. Wanted to give you the opportunity, any West Side people, to provide any updates that you have. It sort of has felt like a little bit like the Wild West, and as I've been told, if anyone would like to provide an update on how things are going. We did get Starlink. Thank you, Ray.
Ray's big face on the screen.
It's hands. Would anybody like to provide an update? Ray. Sunshine, Ray.
Hey, right? Let's see. Now that he's on screen.
So there's definitely still business to be done, you guys. I don't know if our brokers want to speak to this, but we have been trying to spread the message.
It makes me happy though. He's controlling this thing. Please don't pick his nose.
Wait, still business. Okay.
Thank you.
Still business to be done. Lahaina is closed. West Island's open. We still have opportunities to buy and sell and help people in real estate. So I don't know if our brokers would like to speak to this at all. We're doing it with grace and obviously staying out of Lahaina side, but I want to support you. Yeah. Go ahead, Michelle.
Clarifications.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to talk about this morning is the governor's 6th proclamation to the fires. I finally was able to get some clarification from their office on Friday. They have invoked several laws that have impact our immediate ability to do business. And I'm going to read you this short section. I hereby order that making any unsolicited offer to an owner of real property located in the areas encompassed by United States postal zip codes 96761, 96767, and 96790 on the island of Maui to purchase or otherwise acquire an interest in the real property is prohibited. And so what does that look like for us? If someone in one of those 3 zip codes reaches out to you, we need to document that they came to us, and then you're good to go. Those 3 zip codes is much broader than I anticipated because 96761 flows through Kanapali, that whole lower Honokauai, Kahana, Napili, Kapalua, and those areas weren't directly perhaps impacted by fire. Many were, but there are condos in areas that were not impacted. So because of that, we need to be careful. And now he's talking about enhanced criminal penalties and fines. So here's the protocol. If your client reaches out to you and says, I want to buy in one of those zip codes, great, I can assist you. We may have limited options in those areas today. Please send me an email with that information. 2 sentences. Hi, it's great to reconnect with you. I'm interested in purchasing property in that area. communicate to them, you can only look at things that are currently on the MLS. Our normal activities of reaching out to people who are off market and FISBOs, we cannot do today in those zip codes.
Wouldn't our rise leads be the proof that they searched that, right?
This is about contacting sellers, making them an unsolicited offer. So the buyer piece is fine, but it's, you want to just communicate with them up front. We can only work through the MLS today. We have limited inventory. Our normal practice of sending letters to a neighborhood or knocking on doors in the neighborhood or any other method, we cannot do today. All right, so if a seller reaches out and says, I want to sell, and they're in one of those 3 zip codes, we can serve them. But again, just get a 2-sentence email. Hey, I live in zip code 96761. I'm reaching out to you to assist me in the sale of my property. Whatever that looks like, if it's in any of those 3 zip codes. So that is in the governor's 6th proclamation, which right now runs through October 17th. The next piece I want to talk about is if you have listings or escrows with tenants. One of the additional orders he has is a prohibition against rental price increases. You cannot start a termination of a tenancy. So you cannot give a tenant a 45-day notice to vacate.
In those zip codes are.
96761, 96767, and 96790. All of Lahaina, all of Kula, even out into Keokea and stuff, some of that is that 967. So you need to check the zip code, and if the seller is contacting you to sell, we can service them. We just have to document that they came to us. We cannot be seen doing any outreach solicitation in those areas. No direct mail, no phone calls, no door knocking. You can do open houses, and we encourage you to keep moving your business forward and thriving. So no termination of tenancies, no beginning of foreclosures. And that is through October 17th.
There's no talk about leases.
I'm sorry, as far as starting a lease?
No, as far as ending.
What?
You can end a lease if it's a fixed lease that was predetermined to end on a certain date.
Right.
But you cannot, if they don't move out, you can't enforce it. You can't evict them. You can't file a notice for the eviction and then go through the court process. You can't give any kind of notices to anyone
Until October.
till, well, it would be the next day, October 18th. It ends on the 17th. At midnight on the 18th, you can move forward unless it's either ended early or extended. My biggest concern,
Right.
because this is the 6th, they've had 6 so far. We might get a 7th or an 8th or a 9th. I'm just telling you what is today. And I just want to make sure that we as Keller Williams agents document the sellers that are coming to us in those areas. So it's very clear. We can whip it out and say, here's the email documenting they reached out to me, they want to sell, blah, blah, blah.
What are the rules for, like, how long can someone rent right now? Is it still the 3 months or 6 months or?
The governor's order has lifted HOA restrictions on time periods.
So like if we put someone in something desperately and they can only do it for a month or 2, no worries.
Well, there are worries. And so here's the kind of flip side. If you put a displaced a displaced fire victim anywhere, someone impacted in Maui County, and you put them in someone's property for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, if they say we're not moving out, you cannot begin eviction. And a lot of owners weren't really clear or aware of that. So although you want to help, it's a risk. They're in until the end of this order. And then beginning on October 18th, you could begin the process. Now we at Keller Williams are not doing any residential management contracts because we don't do property management on the residential side. But if you have an owner who's volunteered their unit and they put someone in for 30 days and then the tenant goes, yeah, we're not moving, were covered under the governor's order, they now may not being paid rent and they can't get them out because they can't even start that process till October 18th. And that may be extended. There's already scuttlebutt discussion that that might be extended. So any questions on your ability to give a notice to a tenant who's in a listing or an escrowed property, or a seller soliciting you in any of those 3 zip codes? It was much broader than I realized until I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. I thought maybe it would be limited to the district or the burn areas. But it's all of 9690. It's all of the west side.
So if you're in contract and you have a tenant, to close, tenant could.
And you're supposed to deliver it free of
Free
tenants.
tenant, they could
You
potentially
can-
say,
You can incentivize the tenant. We would love it if you could vacate the property. We're not forcing you to vacate the property, but maybe you offer them some money or you help them find another place. The bottom line is you cannot issue a 45-day notice, nor can you evict them. At least, and you can't even begin that till October 18th.
Ray and
Ray and then Courtney.
this is being recorded.
Keep in mind for that solicitation law that just went into effect, if your command is sending messages automatically, that's under your license. So make sure that you stop your smart plans,
Thank you.
especially if you know that the property that you're soliciting is in those zip codes.
Yeah. Auto email blast, your monthly newsletter, smart plans, MLS drip campaigns, Dawn, and then
I
Courtney.
wouldn't take the monthly newsletter, so.
Sorry, this is Sarah Fox. I was just joining. So the smart plans, is that smart plans for buyers too, or just for sellers in an area?
It is for
And then-
sellers in those 3 zip codes.
Okay, but if we have just regular buyer smart plans about like Lahaina, Kapalua area, those, we can keep those running.
Yes, because the proclamation only applies to sellers. They don't want predatory business going on.
And
Courtney.
especially if it's a general email or general message, don't include language like, do you want to sell your affected property, or anything that would put you in that red zone.
Okay, so just to confirm, if I had a prospect before in say Kapalua and they're getting some kind of drip, I need to make sure that's canceled.
Yes,
Unless you have
Got it,
written notice from them
seller.
that they
not-
requested to sell.
Fine, it's just.
Yeah,
seller.
got it. Right. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Courtney,
Hi, so my question is in the same vein. So I have a number of clients, a couple hundred on bot drips for valuations monthly. It's not necessarily a solicitation, but it talks about, like on those reports, it talks about how much money they could get out of their property and what they could do with those funds. So it's kind of a gray area, it seems. But should I just turn all of those off for now?
I would recommend you turn them off for now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else?
There's a question in the chat from Lisa about the tenancy rights after 30 days. It says, what if there's no lease? Someone is just staying on the property temporarily.
If there's no written lease, it's considered an oral lease agreement. And oral lease agreements are subject to a 45-day written notice to vacate. So it's implied, it's oral. Oral is month to month, which is subject to a 45-day notice. Anything you want to add on that, Johnny? Yeah, so yeah. And so.
You can get a landlord tenant code book very easily on the website. Just Google landlord tenant code Hawaii.
Yeah, it says it right in there, because when I had this, I had that open side by side looking at it on Saturday, so.
Hey, Michelle, Lee here. If people in the audience are asking questions, they're very difficult to hear out here. So if you could
Okay.
repeat the question, that would be great.
Yes, I will. The question was, if you have a tenant in there for 30 days without a written lease, can you get them off the property? And the answer is, at this time, no. They're covered by the governor's 6th proclamation. And they would be considered an oral lease agreement, which is month to month, which is a 45-day notice for them to vacate. Okay, I'm gonna turn this back over to Sasha.
Wow.
Anyone can call with any questions. Tammy and I are always available, Marion, and we'll research what you need.
Huge impact on people who donated their condos, right? So that's something to be aware of when your clients are donating the current laws. Awesome. Okay, I just so thankful for you guys to show up in person. It's great to have you here. We're gonna continue to do 10 o'clock Mondays, and via Zoom for everyone. I wanted to kind of put a little switch. We still are talking about business, right? We still have to make a living here. So I'm interested. I have one of my favorite things from the last mega camp is a playbook. And it's a one pager on how people succeeded in their business. And there's like 50 different ways. And so I'm interested if anyone knows the July numbers for median single family residents.
1.1.
Yeah, close. 1.192. Steve, you get a copy of the.
Yeah.
I think it's important, we're all still out here, we are grieving, but we're still have to make a living, right? And so we want to be here for you for that. And for those that showed up in person, I think the board already has a copy of this, but Dean used this Vision 2023. He used this specific graph to get 2 Halama listings showing his people. You sell now, or it's going to be 7 years until you get the same price. So I have a gift for all of you that are here, a copy of this.
A new house on the
A Halama, yes. So those of you that are here live, and I want to show you guys that are on live, you're missing a nice breakfast. So come in live next time. Just appreciate you guys showing up. And anyone want to add anything else before we adjourn? Nope. Okay, thank you for coming.
Wait. Starting tomorrow, I'll be over on the west side for admin duties. So if you need anything or if you need supplies brought over, just let me know by end of day today, and I will make it happen. And then every week from now on, Tuesdays will be our west side admin days.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Anybody else? Awesome. Thank you, guys. We love you. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.